Good morning, everybody, and welcome to our team call. Today is another Saturday morning, a lovely Saturday morning over here in Puerto Rico. Some of you are snuggled up in your blankies, so it must be kind of chilly where you're at. But regardless, I just love coming together, you guys, and connecting with you all. And when we stay connected and learn from each other, we all grow together and we all rise up in this business together. So it's such a privilege to be able to connect this way. Welcome to our Crossline teams, and a very special welcome to our guest speaker this morning, Theresa Marsh. You guys may have heard of Theresa. She's a national vice president, and I just love this culture where we can really learn from each other. And everybody's journey is different, and you're going to hear that Theresa's is also very different from many of ours. But the similarities that we all have is that we want to be able to make a difference, not only in our immediate circle of influence, but also in this world. So let me tell you a little bit about Theresa before we get started. She joined Arbonne in 2003, so she just celebrated her 15th anniversary, and so did I. So we're kind of soul sisters in that arena. And she's been an NVP for 13 years now. That's a long time as a national vice president. So kudos to you. You definitely have a lot to share with us today, and so I'm excited to be able to really glean on what you have to say. So she's married to her sweetheart Doug, and they've been married for 30 years, and they have 4 grown children. And they live in Colorado Springs, Colorado. So it must be snowy there, perhaps, okay? And she's gonna go into details about what it means to really find your leadership voice. It's so easy to compare ourselves or to feel like we're not adequate as a leader. And I think what you'll find is that we all have that potential to be great leaders. And so I'm so looking forward to having us all learn from you, Theresa. So if you can share a little bit, elaborate more about your journey and to share just your expertise in all this, we'd love to hear it. So thank you for your time.
Well, thank you, Vita. And I'm so glad to finally meet you in person.
Yes.
Via the phone. So wonderful. And thank you for everybody hopping on. It's a real privilege for me to be able to share with all of you this morning. And I know some of you have gotten up really, really early. So I think that's fantastic because, you know, a business doesn't die overnight, or we don't fail overnight, or if you feel like you're stagnant, that doesn't happen overnight. It happens in little decisions that happen along the way. So in you making the decision to hop on this morning and get up and get fed in your mind, you're moving your business forward. So congratulations on that. As Vita said, I live in Colorado Springs, Colorado. I am not there, however, right now because I'm actually in Northwest Ohio, which is where I was born and raised and started my Arbonne business. And Arbonne allows me to come back and spend time with my aged father, who just turned 89 on Valentine's Day. And also with my son, who just moved here with his new wife and fractured his ankle. So I came in to just check on everybody, and that's what Arbonne allows you to do if you need to, and that's wonderful. I think that's wonderful. As Vita said, I started Arbonne in 2003. You know, I started as someone who wanted some products. My son Danny, who's my second son, the third in our out of 4 of our kids, had eczema. And there was no way to treat that except steroid strips, according to the doctors. And I didn't want him on steroid strips because I thought it was discoloring his skin. It was making it thinner. And I just didn't like the long-term effect of steroids. So I had been looking around for something for a long time. And my good friend and another mom from school invited me to an Arbonne party. So I went there and I ordered the baby care line. And to my absolute shock, it worked. And it cleared him up because I know, like many people, you get used to products not working. They make a lot of promises, but they don't have a lot of effectiveness. And so I thought, what is this company that really these products work? I can't believe it. And so my friend kept inviting me. And so keep doing this, keep inviting your friends to join her in her business. And I watched her for about 6 to 9 months, and I thought, I wonder if she's going to quit. So remember that too. People are looking to see, are they really in on this? What's their authenticity? Are they credible, or are they going to quit? Don't quit. When I'm at GTC and somebody comes up to me and says, you're an NVP, I'm collecting wisdom from NVPs. Tell me what the wisdom is that I should have. And I say, don't quit. I mean, it's basically just those 2 words, don't quit. If you don't quit on most things in life, you'll be successful. That's just the way it is in life. So I started my Arbonne business because I read a story about a woman who had 4 kids And it was when these Ion Arbonne stories came in boxes of product. And I pulled it out. This was the only way we really knew who was in leadership in Arbonne. There was no website. And I read it and I thought, she doesn't seem that different than me. And I was raised, I'm a second generation Lebanese American. And so everyone in my family had their own business. It was like my big fat Greek wedding. Nobody worked for anybody else. So to start a business for less than $100, I'm like, that's kind of simple. That's kind of a no-brainer. I mean, we had $1 million note on the laundromats we owned. So to start something like this, I already knew how to work hard. I mean, people in your life already know how to work hard, and they already have great expense that they've gone through to find financial freedom in owning their own business, which is really a prison because of taxes and everything else that you don't realize at the time. So I started my Arbonne business, and my thought was this: everyone else in this business is blonde and lives in California, and I'm not. Can I be successful in this? I'm not like anybody else that I know of in this business. But I also thought, if there's a system, if there's training, I can do that. I can learn a system. I can do the training. And we had one call a week that we hopped on Saturday nights, and I had to use a long distance card to get on it, and it wasn't recorded. Okay, so make it as difficult as possible to be successful in this business, and that's where we started. Now it's very easy to be successful in this business. You just have to do it. I mean, you just had to do it then, and you just have to do it now. But I then became a regional vice president after I set the goal to hit 40 by 40. And I got my car right after my 40th birthday. And then I became a national vice president about 18 months after that, because I had been doing everything I was supposed to do, and I showed up when I needed to show up, and I went to the meetings, even if I didn't feel like it, even if I thought I've heard the Discover Arbonne 1,000 times, I'm still going, because that's what you do when you commit to a business. So that is just kind of my story, and I'll have to share at some point, but to finish my regional vice president qualification, I actually had to break into my sponsor's house. I climbed through her kitchen window because they only let us fax in our orders from our sponsor's house, and she wasn't home. But I was on the phone with her, and she said, I think my kitchen window's open. So I got a boost up. I climbed in over her sink. I pulled her fax machine out of the closet, and I faxed in my last orders as she came bursting through the door. So you don't have to climb through any windows anymore. So just keep doing what you're doing. But my training today on finding your leadership voice was really inspired by the movie called Amazing Grace. And I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's the story of William Wilberforce, who was key in ending the slave trade in England. And during the story, he's very vocal about the conditions and ending and how inhumane this is, and he's standing tall. But as time goes on, he tends to get overridden. Other things get louder in his life, and his voice becomes smaller and smaller. And he goes into a period of self-exile, and he hides from the world. He hides from his calling. He hides from doing what he is passionate about. And part of that hiding is because he has a disease called ulcerative colitis. And my son, Danny, the same one that I started my Arbonne business with, just had a year of ulcerative colitis, in which we used Arbonne products and other things to get him from where he was in complete pain and completely wiped out and not able to do anything, and had to drop out of school. And excuse me, my brother just walked in, I'm waving to him. And then recovered and getting back to school. So I know that it is a devastating disease. So when we saw the movie, to know that that's the pain he was in was incredible. He no longer had a leadership voice. And then as the movie progresses and he gets better, he goes back to Parliament and he stands up, and once again he says, we must end this injustice. This must stop. It's not right. And there's someone who has been working with him in ending the slave trade, who's sitting in the observation box, and he says, look who found his voice again. And that was so meaningful to me, because we all have a voice. We all have an authentic story, and we all have a way that we can be in leadership with our authentic voice. We aren't like anybody else. We aren't like Cecilia Stoll. We aren't like Ashley Strong. We aren't like Mindy Preddy. And guess what? They're not like each other either. When we think we admire those qualities about them in their leadership, that's fantastic. We can develop those qualities and develop those skills, but really your background, your DNA, your belief system, your sphere of influence, the outcome you want to have in your life and the way you express it and the legacy that you want to leave, those are all unique to you. And those are all your voice and how you can be a leader. So don't be afraid of those. So there is a book out there that's called Finding Your Leadership Voice by Paul Larson. And he uses voice as an acronym. So he takes each letter of the word voice and he uses that to explain how you find your own leadership voice. I'm going to walk through that real quickly with you. V in the voices for values. What are your values? What's your actual DNA? What are the things that excite you? If you had a hashtag about your life or a hashtag that really motivated you, what would that be? I mean, these are the things that make you the authentic you. Is it, I want to change people's life, or my family is super important, or I want to be home with them, or I want to have the flexibility to go and visit my aging father or my son whenever I want and be able to take care of them. I want to be generous. My family is my value. So you develop this list of what is really your values, and those are going to start you to see, like, this is really my voice, and this is really the voice that I can share with other people. The O in voice is outcome. You know, you can have intention and you can have outcome. And this is where your credibility comes in, because you have to put into practice what you want your outcome to be, those things that you intend to do. You have to lead with that in order to have the outcome that you want to have. If you want to be a regional vice president, you better be at all the meetings. You better be doing the 30 days to healthy living yourself and then inviting other people to do it, because intending to be a regional vice president means that all these other things have to happen. And in your life, you will have success and you will have failure, but if you do enough of it, you will have more success along with the failures, because the failures are going to happen. That's just the realistic part of it. I'm going to vaccinate you right now against that. There's going to be failures. There's going to be people to quit your business, but your intention is going to lead you to the outcome that you want to have. So people want to follow a visionary leader. They want to follow someone who knows what the outcome is going to be. When I invited people onto my team, like I invited my best friend onto my team, I said, one day we will drive off into the sunset together in our Mercedes-Benz. And she got her Mercedes-Benz and I got my Mercedes-Benz. And so I painted that picture and she saw that. And thankfully she did, because it wasn't long after that her husband started losing his sight. I mean, we start these things with the outcome we think is going to happen, but along the way, life happens. And then we're glad we started some things and we are intentional about it, because the outcome might be a little bit different, but Arbonne can soften that outcome that you're not expecting. So the I is for influence. So basically, what is your credibility? What kind of circles do you have influence in? If you want to develop influence, you have to develop credibility. If you want to develop credibility, you have to be authentic and you have to show up. You have to show up, whether it's volunteering at the preschool, whether it's driving people that need to get somewhere that don't have a place to go, picking people up and serving them. That is where you develop your credibility. It's the ability to establish relationships that is critical. So basically with credibility and with influence, you're walking your talk. Like you see Vita and what she does every day, she walks her talk, and that's why she has credibility with all of you. That's why you all hopped on the phone to listen to this call today, because of her and her credibility. And C is for courage. I mean, we all have comfort zones. We've developed them, we've padded them, we've put them around us, and we need to take either big steps or small steps out of that comfort zone. So doing live stream video, was that comfortable for us at first? No. Did we know how to do Zoom? No. Are we still awesome at technology? No, we all still make mistakes, but it takes courage to do it. It's going to take courage for you to do it as well. And if you haven't recorded your story, your 1, 2, or 5 minute story about why you do Arbonne, why not? It's probably out of your comfort zone, but that's okay. Expand your comfort zone. Just make it bigger, because that is going to lead people to to join your team, and it's going to raise your people's awareness of your leadership and your leadership style. So that is, the C is courage. Now the E is create a lasting expression. You want to communicate your brand. What is it that you really want other people to see about you? This is like writing your leadership obituary, I think, in that you have a long-term legacy that you want to express and that you want to be part of you. For some people, it's going to be, I want to promote, 4 direct national vice presidents. For other people, it's, I want to sponsor an orphanage around the world. For other people, it's, I want to help people out of slavery. I want to use my Arbonne business. Your Arbonne business is basically a tool. You're not going to see to a level. You need to see through that level. You need to see past it to see what is your brand, what is your legacy as a leader. I mean, it's already being created by others. Why don't you join in and be accountable for the image that you're creating? You've got to be the person who's actually creating that image. Don't be silent and hide in the shadows. And you might have those times in which you are like William Wilberforce and you fall back and you have to pull back because you're either healing yourself or you're recovering from something. But don't then stay in that place, because the world needs to hear your voice. I'm reading another book. I finished that book by The Leadership Voice by Paul Larson. It's very good, by the way. But one that I'm really enjoying right now is one by Michael Caine, the actor, who's a British actor. And I picked it up just 2 days ago, and it's called Blowing the Bloody Doors Off. And he talks, it's an autobiography, but the things that he said are incredibly applicable to Arbonne, because he started with virtually nothing in a hard place. And he said, I used the tools that were only available to me to help me develop and be where I wanted to be and see the passion. But there's going to be hardships along the way. And he said, lean into the hardship, make it part of your story, make it part of who you are. There's always going to be hardship. There's always going to be things and setbacks. But if you keep doing the right things, you'll have a positive outcome. In fact, he said, anyone can be successful, but not everyone will be successful. And that's the same thing that they say in network marketing. Anyone can be successful in network marketing, but not everyone will be, because not everyone is willing to take on and do all the things that you have to do. So find your leadership voice and lead your team and the authentic you, and find that hashtag. I think that's one of a great exercises. Find that hashtag that really is meaningful and describes your life and how you want your life to look to others, and use that on your social media posts, because that it reflects an authentic you of what you truly believe. And don't make it a cliche thing. Really think through it and think through your values that are with it. Because like William Wilberforce, you don't know the small decisions. I mean, he was a man with one purpose in mind, and he didn't know the lasting and long-term legacy that he would leave and inspire other people to be inspired by him. Because frankly, he was just a man. He didn't realize what was happening at the time. And all of you're inspiring people around you as well when you work your business or when you're authentic in your life. And allow your voice to come out. Don't allow it to be muffled. Like that scene in that video, find your voice and let other people hear it. And that's what I love. And that's what I'll leave you with. This last quote from Cecilia Stoll, who is the #1 income earner in our business, is like, belief has a sound. But where does that sound come from? It comes from us. It comes from inside of us. It comes from us speaking to others. So that basically is it, Vita, what I wanted to share with all of you today. And I appreciate so much your time on this morning.
Oh my goodness. I am so appreciative of you and for pouring into our team and for sharing just what it takes to really just dig deep and really be authentic for who you are, just like what you're saying. Because if we don't show up for who we really are, then we're doing our disservice, to those around us. So I think we have to really start from that place. And I wanted to open it up to the team and see if you guys have any insight or see if you feel like a little muffled in what we're doing with our Arbonne business. Just wanted to open it up to anyone who'd like to ask Theresa some questions or offer some insights or comments or anything.
Theresa, this is Mary Jonas down in Baja, Mexico. Thank you for joining us today. It was great. I had to laugh because I've been in Omaha for 30-some years or something like that. But I've remembered so many times, maybe I need to bleach my hair blonde. Maybe that's going to be the solution. So I love hearing that you had that same thought, because for a while, that was it. They were all just blonde, beautiful, smart, blonde women. But it was like, oh, maybe I should go blonde. Maybe that will help. So that's so funny that you said that. But thank you for sharing. The book was called Your Voice, or what was the name of the book?
Finding Your Leadership Voice by Paul Larson.
Finding Your Leadership Voice. That sounds like a great book.
Yeah, sounds incredible. I can't wait to add that to my list of books as well. And the other thing too is, back in 2003, because I know this as well, we didn't have all the tools that everybody has at their disposal right now, and so so really that determining factor is not that we're for a lack of tools. It really has to be, we have to just decide and not just dip our toe in the water, and just really and just really go for what we intend to do with this business. So
you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And I really just want to leave you with that encouragement. It really is a matter of just showing up and doing the little things, because there's death by 1,000 paper cuts, like that that one person said. Nothing fails because of one major thing. It's the little decisions. So make the little decisions that pull you farther and farther away from the edge of failure and closer to the center of success.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you too, because I've been a regional vice president for a long time, and it sounds like you've been a national vice president for as long as I've been a regional vice president. And so what was that shift for you that that you really noticed made the huge difference in bridging over to getting to nation?
It was a lot of this. There's a lot of the same thing, but I think that I was very, very, very intentional about sitting down with people and inviting them to be in my business, and trying to meet them where they were. A lot of those people aren't with me anymore, but there's a lot more that have joined. That's just how it is, because people quit things. But one of the biggest things, honestly, was I asked my sister to join my business, and then I had a running partner. I had somebody who was challenging me all the time. So I would say, if you're thinking about if you want, and your intention is go from region to nation, you need a running partner, either in your business or in a sideline sister, or brother in that case. And that's what Paula Prisby, who I mentioned to you, as a new regional vice president on my team, where she's like, I just got sick and tired of being area manager. And she found a running partner to just challenge her every day to do things that she didn't think of doing, or that maybe she was too fearful of doing. She just didn't know she was fearful, but she hadn't done them on purpose. So
That's
if you
good.
do you have a running partner? I know you probably have a running partner in life, like maybe you and your husband go running together, and you know how they push you. He
totally pushes me. Yeah, for sure. That is really good. I need that. I feel like I need to find that. And I know there's people here that are, it's mid-month, and that feeling of anxiety. It's like, oh my gosh, I just haven't done enough, and I just really haven't even started my business this month. What advice would you give to that person where they feel like, okay, well, I might as well give up on the rest of the month because I haven't really done anything in my Arbonne business. It's already mid-month. What would you say?
I would say, miracles can happen on the last day, but why wait till then? So I honestly start right now, because you can get done in 15 days what other people can get done in 30. There's no reason that you can't either hit your bonus or hit a new qualification level, or get several new business partners in your business. I mean, this is the month of sponsoring consultants and getting a bonus for sponsoring consultants with sign up. Don't be afraid to say to them, look, this is a business. It's an incredible business. It is an online business. I mean, if you look at an order through Amazon, you understand how this business works. But we have products that are pure, safe, and beneficial. We have testimonials about products that change people's lives. And today is the day when you get off this call, make those 10 calls, make that list, and make those 10 calls before the end of the day. If you haven't done anything between the 1st and the 15th, we'll treat the 15th as the 1st. and know that this is just it's a really short month anyway,
Mm-hmm.
but you still have more than one day to
Mm-hmm.
get your work done.
Right.
Maybe
That's right.
if you're close or if you have a goal, you can do it. You really can do it this month.
That's right. I'm hoping you guys all feel encouraged. I see that Misty unmuted. Do you have a question, Misty?
I just had a comment, and then I, you know me, I always have a comment. I just really appreciated that comment about not being like the others, not comparing yourself to Ashley Strong because you're not her, or Mindy Pretty because you're not her, and remembering that you're unique and your value is something other than what their value is, and they're not like you either. And that's the thing that we sometimes forget, is that what they bring is not what we bring, and we are just as important and just as valuable as they are. And it's really easy to get lost in that when you see people on the stage, or when you even see them on Facebook Live, and they're just so out there and independent, and it feels so unattainable from here. So I just really appreciate that you, especially being a national vice president, where, you know, you are one of those people we sometimes look at and think, wow, I could never be like her. Well, I'm not supposed to be like you. I'm supposed to be like me. And I think that's really awesome.
That's
exactly. Good. And, you know, I want you to know that I do know Mindy Pretty, and she's very shy, very shy.
Mm-hmm.
And same with Kim, the new national vice president. I mean, she did a whole talk on why introverts can be successful in Arbonne. And then, yeah, Ashley Strong is unique in and of herself, but there was nobody like her in Arbonne before she came in.
That's right.
And there's nobody like you in Arbonne before you came in. She just has her own way of doing things. There was a question, it says, how much do I leverage social media on there? There's a social media training by Carlita Nelson and a young gal, oh gosh, what is her name, on her team on YouTube. And Beth Giardi is on there too. She does a training on there as well. I found that both of those to be extremely valuable in developing your own personal, like if you're using Instagram, the main goal is, this is you, this is your story. I do not do a lot of Arbonne posting on my Instagram. My story, do as much as you want, but on your actual wall, I do very little, because I know people personally, and I will insert it in there because it's part of my life and part of who I am, but I use it more in a lifestyle way rather than the overt, here's a sale, you know, like the telethon thing where people are like, I'm trying to get to this level, you know, I need $500 more in sale. My goodness, pick up the phone and call somebody. You know, call somebody that you went invited to a party, or call somebody that you talked with on there. Do not rely upon social media to be that one edge. And even also for a lot of the young women that are being very successful in Arbonne right now via social media, that's going to be just part of their business. They're going to learn all the different ways of reaching out, the one-on-ones, the parties. I still have people on my team that do parties. I still have people on my team that do one-on-ones. I have millennials on my team that use social media. But I'm going to tell you what they told us in Maui was they probably do, gosh, out of the number of reach outs that they have, they might have like a 2% response rate. So it's not huge. It's not like everybody they're reaching out to on social media is joining their team and becoming a regional vice president. They just reach out to a lot of them. And in some cases, this can work against you, because then you just seem to be about wanting somebody on your team and not really knowing their real needs and their authentic story. I think that social media hurts a lot of relationships if they aren't followed up by a personal contact and a personal back and forth. You can reach out to people on social media. You can comment. You can say, hey, you're adorable. You should be doing Arbonne. You should think about what I'm doing. But I'm going to tell you, it requires a lot of follow-up. And if you're really good on that follow-up on social media, you're probably able to get that 1% of people who respond. But the people that know you best, or the people that are in your, your hot market, your warm market, your cold market, the people that are in your warm market, a little bit, maybe even a little bit cold market, that you build up some credibility with, and they've seen your authentic life, those are the people that you're going to have the most impact with. And really, those are the people that are going to respond to you more so than a stranger on social media.
That's right. I kind of look at social media as a springboard to build that relationship. So it's not the end all and be all, but it is one of those tools. It's very effective if you're understanding that the fortune truly is in the follow-up. So good question, Charlene. Thanks for asking, and thanks for that very candid answer too. That's important.
And I would suggest that you do schedule your posts. You listen to the social media training schedule. Be very intentional about what you're posting, and then also put down where you're living. Put down your location if you're doing an Arbonne. A lot of people don't want to do that. We're a little bit scared, like some creeper is going to come and get us. And but on Instagram or something like that, that's very important to put your city in, because people that are searching cities will start to follow you, or they'll comment on your post.
Good point. Good point. Okay, you guys, I just want to make sure everybody has their voice on this call. So I didn't want to hang up until everyone asked their question or made their comments. Give you a second here. Okay, so we are at mid-month, and we don't need to be frantic. We don't have to feel like we're desperate in this business, because we certainly are not. So act as if that this is the springboard into what we need to be doing. Take what Theresa shared to heart, that you have a voice and your voice matters, that you have a gift to offer. We just need to open up our mouths and share that gift with people and be our authentic self and really make it happen and cast that vision of what this business can mean for people's lives. So I would really encourage you to do that. Thank you so much, Theresa, for pouring into us. You are beautiful. I can't wait to meet you in person sometime. Maybe GTC. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
we'll see each other again on Monday night.
Yes, on Monday night. Oh, yeah. I do want to remind everybody that Theresa has given us the opportunity to be able to cast the vision through to couples, you know, in particular, husbands and wives. And so thank you for asking us to do that, and we're looking forward to that. But you guys remember the incentives that Arbonne has put in front of us to make it more fun, because it does get kind of monotonous when we're thinking of it as a numbers game, you know, but it makes it more fun when you have something new to offer people. It just gives us some creativity in that. So when we sponsor, they get those facial cloths and we get $50, right? They place that $500 order. And then I have my own sponsoring challenge to all of you guys, my sponsoring incentive. So make sure that you pay attention to that. And just for doing our job, you know, we get all these fun things. So thank you all for being on the call. Thank you for your commitment to your business and to personal and professional development. Thank you, Theresa. And have a wonderful weekend and a wonderful rest of the month of February. I love you all.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Take care, everybody.